All right. So we're gonna go through the test, and if we have time, we're gonna go through some simple mechanics to kind of expand on where we left off at the last meeting because we are kind of rushed to get to the baseball. So if you see that anybody's in the waiting room, if somebody could just like raise their hand and let me know, or come off mute for a second and just tell me that there's somebody in the waiting room so I can let them in. But without further ado, I think we're just going to go ahead and start the test. So you have to bear with me for just a second because I am not an expert at this. And for the Hey, Paul.
I think you want to share.
Yeah, but I'm not finding the the
on the,
quiz
on the
down at the
website.
bottom. The quiz is down at the bottom. I'm not finding them.
On the website.
No, no, there's you can like you raise a quiz
Oh,
through the thing.
that's why I told him I was old school.
All right, I guess I'll just go ahead and do that because I saw it before, and now I don't see it now. That's weird. Because I'm looking at host tools, I'm looking at apps, I'm looking at more. There's a whiteboard. Oh, polls quizzes. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna launch question number one. Paul, tell me if you can see it, okay?
Yes, it's up.
Yes.
All right, so during the MHSA tournament, how are home teams determined? Top line bracket, best regular season, pregame coin flip, or power rankings? Pretty simple, straightforward question. I got three answers so far, and they're all correct. So I'll give it a few more minutes for you guys to submit your answers. And by the way, I don't know who's answering what, so just answer to the best of your ability and the best of your knowledge, and we'll talk about it if we have a question that it's not totally obvious what the answer is. Okay. All right. So in case anybody didn't know, this is right in the rule book. It's pretty straightforward. It's to prevent you from determining the home field any other way. We're going to do it by a coin flip. So answer C is the question, or is the answer for number one. Okay. So it looks like most people got that one right. Let me see if I can share the results. Share the results. Okay, so 75%. All right, let's go to the next one. Did anybody have trouble seeing or answering the quiz from the first question? Okay, good. Question number two. At the pregame conference, the home team coach informs the umpires that the fence in left field is only 180 feet, and all balls hit over the fence will be a two-base award. Uh, what is your response to that? All right, this one's pretty obvious too. Um, it is D. You cannot have a ground rule supersede an actual rule. And the rule is if a ball goes over the fence in fair territory, it is a home run, no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, so the answer is D. And in a varsity game, I would highly recommend, even if both coaches want you to agree to it, please don't agree to it. Okay? Any questions on that?
And I see
Share
that question
result.
again.
I'm sorry, say again, Deontay?
No, I want to see the question again. But answer. All right,
Oh, yeah, it's right there. Can you
I
still
see it.
see it? It says, I have the results shown right now.
No, I can see it.
Okay, so the answer is D. The umpire shall not permit a ground rule to supersede a rules book rule. Any ball hit over a fence is a home run. Over the outfield fence, obviously. If it's in foul territory, it's a foul ball. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. The umpire notices F6 is wearing a smartwatch on the playing field. Which of the following is true? Looks like there's a few answers that beg a little bit of discussion. But the answer to this is smartwatches are allowed as long as they are not used to communicate outside of the dugout on offense or by anyone other than F2, which is the catcher on defense. So you can wear them. And just because I saw a couple people put in D that no jewelry is allowed, that rule was changed last year. So jewelry can be worn as long as it is not deemed by the umpire to be a distraction. And obviously, you need to adhere to the rules of the pitching arm of the pitcher um, as well. So you can't wear anything on the pitching arm, but other girls can wear jewelry as long as it's not deemed um, distractive. And smartwatches fall under that same category. It's just an adornment as long as they're not used to communicate, uh, unless it's just a one way from the coach to the catcher to call the pitches. Then then smartwatches are allowed for any other reason. So I'll end the poll here, and I'll share the results. And Carl, if you have anything to add to any of these, please jump in as our rules expert.
Yeah,
But
we'll do.
so far they've been pretty straightforward. All right, so let's move on to question number 4. It is an illegal pitch if anybody wants me to read the answers, so because they're having trouble seeing it, please let me know. But it looks like answers are coming in. All right, looks like we have consensus on the right answer. And the correct answer is A. F1 is behind the pitcher's plate, takes a signal, steps on the pitcher's plate, and and immediately brings the hands together. The best way I can describe it, and I want Carl's input on this as well, but the best way I would describe it is if they take it and then just quickly go so as to throw off the batter, then that would be an illegal pitch. I believe that once they're on the plate, they have to signal, or they have to what do you call it? Like where you pretend like you're receiving a signals from the catcher.
Yeah,
So
so
you
you
have to
have to
stop.
Yeah, you have to simulate taking a sign. And the other key here is to remember that it does not matter which hand the ball is in. It can be in their hand or it can be in their glove. So, two things to not do. Do not allow them to step on the pitching rubber with their hands together. And it doesn't matter which hand the ball is in. So, in this case, the way this rule is written, they are standing behind the pitcher's plate. Neither foot's in touch with the pitcher's plate, but they're within the circle. They're clearly taking a sign from the dugout. They're staring at the dugout. They step on the mound. They immediately put their hands together. Your left arm should come out and you should say illegal as soon as she starts her pitching motion.
And
And then
quickly,
go from there.
Carl, what is the penalty for an illegal pitch?
So penalty for the illegal pitch is depending on what happens with the pitch, right? So it's
So we
offenses.
got a delayed dead ball.
Yep, you have a delayed dead ball, which is why your arm goes out. Your left arm should go out. That's the delayed dead ball signal. You should verbally say illegal pitch or illegal, and then let the pitcher pitch from there. If the batter hits the ball and gets a single, it's offense's choice. If the batter just takes the pitch, it is a ball awarded to the batter.
All right, good stuff, Carl. Appreciate it. Okay, so everybody got that. Jump in if you have any questions. Take yourself off mute. Then once you're done with your question, if you could go back on mute, I'd appreciate it. All right, so that is A for number 4.
Did you say don't allow pitcher to what? Step on the.
Step on the mound with the hands together.
That's an illegal pitch, and you should call it.
All right, question number 5. Team A's players are wearing red exposed upper body undergarments, but solid black play cards. F1 is wearing a play card on the non-pitching arm. F3, who is the team's backup pitcher, is wearing a play card on the non-glove arm, which means it's her pitching arm. Which statement is correct? All right, it looks like we got pretty good consensus on this one. The correct answer is both B and C are correct. Okay. It's right in the rule book that as long as the play cards are a solid color and not optic yellow, they are legal. But they must be worn, where they need to be worn, which is the non-pitching arm, which is the glove arm, if they're the pitcher. Or let me see, what is the other one? This is legal only if one has the restriction of the placement of the play card on the non-pitching arm. Right. The other ones can wear them on the belt, right? Okay, that one's pretty straightforward. Just make sure that if you see an optic yellow play card, just make them take it off, because that's going to create all kinds of problems. And don't let a pitcher wear if she steps on the mound with something on her arm, tell her to get rid of it.
The answer is both B and.
Both B and C, yes. Because it's a dual thing. It's legal if it's a solid color and not optic yellow, but it's also legal since nobody pitching had it on their pitching arm. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. Share the results. You guys are doing good so far? And if anybody wants me to, after we're done here, you guys should all have my email address and phone number. If you want me to shoot you an email with a PDF of this quiz, I can certainly go ahead and do that. Okay. All right. On to question 6. A pitcher touches a towel containing an approved drying agent in a back pocket that goes directly to the ball. What is the proper ruling? I believe this was a rule change last year, maybe? Yeah, the key here is that as long as it's an approved agent, they don't have to wipe it. So it's not going to be an illegal pitch because they don't have to wipe it before going the ball as long as it's an approved drying agent, which I can't imagine that you'd have a situation where they go up there with a non-approved drying agent. I'd like to hear that story if someone has one. But doing good. So the answer is it's legal. Drying agents do not have to be removed from hands. Okay. Any questions on that? All right, good. On to number 7. In the waiting room. Hey, sorry guys. I'm having trouble launching question number 7. I might have to go out and not out of the entire meeting. I might have to redo this poll quizzes thing. So give me 1 second. Oh crap. This is saying that can anybody see the poll up? Not shit.
Yeah, when I go to polls and quizzes, Tony, the last thing that pops up is question 6. It doesn't show anything for question 7 yet.
Right, I know, but I can't find question 6 on my screen. So I don't know how to let me see if I can. All right. Well, not a problem. Let me we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way then. We're gonna go through the test. We'll just go through the rest of the test the old way. Let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, guys. So obviously the answers are going to be here because I can't really press them. So let's just talk about these. During the act of pitching, which movement is not legal? The pitcher drags the pivot foot away from the pitcher's plate, maintaining contact with the ground. We know that that's not true because that's the typical motion that they do is when they drag that foot. Pitcher steps back off the pitcher's plate, keeping both hands together. Keeping both hands together means the pitch is not started yet, so they can back up off the plate. Carl, stop me if I'm going too fast or if I say something incorrect. The pitcher replants the pivot foot before the act of delivering the pitch. That is illegal. And we know, so that's like a crow hop. So when they're in the act of pitching and then they replant that foot and then deliver the pitch is makes it an illegal pitch. Okay. Any questions on that? Number 8.
Stuck here. Put that on the screen. Leave it, he'll flip it.
Is anybody in the waiting room? And I apologize, guys. I'm not an expert at Zoom. This is not my forte at all.
Okay.
So if anybody sees anybody in the waiting room, Carl, I think you could potentially let them in.
Yeah, I haven't
So-
seen anybody pop up yet.
Number 8, B1 steps in the batter's box and the umpire immediately notices the batter's wearing jewelry. Which of the following is not allowed during play? Necklace, small stud earrings, a standard watch. Those are all legal unless, what did we say? Unless you, the umpire, deems that it is distracting, and you would have the ability to tell them to take. But I'm telling you right now that you probably don't want to do that because all it's going to do is make people mad. And if you really feel strongly about it, then do it. If it looks dangerous, then do it. But if you just don't like it, I would advise against doing that. Okay. So all of the above are legal. That is the answer to the question. Number 9, if an improper batter becomes a runner or is put out and the defense appeals to the umpire before the next pitch, legal or illegal, the correct ruling is the batter who should have batted is out, all runners called out remain out, and runners who are not declared out must return to the base previously occupied at the time of the pitch. If a runner advances because of a stolen base, wild pitch, or a passed ball, even though the improper batter is at bat, such advance is legal. Okay, so the answer is all of the above. Those are situations that are all in play if you get a batter who's out of order. Carl, you want to expand on that a little bit? That one, sometimes it's a little difficult to kind of picture that one.
Yeah, so this is something difficult, right? And a lot of people can mess this up. I have messed this up before, especially working Federation, then working NCAA, and then working travel ball. You can get it all messed up, right?
Karen,
So
how do I
thank
move
goodness,
this page?
thank goodness now we're all talking about Federation. I don't know who's not on mute, but can you please mute? So again, batter who should have batted is out. So the wrong batter batted. We've not thrown the next pitch. That's pretty straightforward. This is where it gets a little weird. All runners called out remain out. So wrong batter has batted and she hits into a double play, right? You have runner going from first to second, that runner's put out, and then the batter is put out as well. right? Those outs would stand. But the second part of that is, and runners who were not declared out must return to the base previously occupied at the time of the pitch. So in the scenario I just gave you, bases are loaded. There's less than 2 outs. Let's say there's no outs. And the wrong batter bats into a double play. The girl from third scores, they choose to turn the double play up the middle, right? So the runner going from first to second is out. The wrong batter that batted the ball is out, but the run scores. So don't get confused. Don't overthink it, right? It's just something to remember.
All right, I'm having all kinds of trouble. All right, so let me
Okay, he's doing it done. We got.
let me read the next question. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so with 1 out, R1 on third base and R2 on second base, B4 hits a fly ball on the first base side of second base, almost directly at F4. As R2 takes a couple steps towards third base, R2 makes contact with F6, who is moving towards the batted ball. Okay, Carl, you want to talk about that one and just tell them what the answer is. It's D. The umpire signals delayed dead ball and verbalizes obstruction. F4 is making the initial play on the batted ball.
I don't have anything in front of me.
Right.
F6 is guilty of obstructing R2.
Right.
I am trying to get back into my PDF. There it is.
So the reason this is obstruction and is a delayed dead ball is because you don't want to penalize the defense, right? You don't want to penalize the defense for an offense's mistake, right? So it's delayed dead ball. So your left arm goes out, right? You have obstruction, and then you let things play out from there, right? I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The offense shouldn't be penalized for a defense's mistake. If it's the offense that makes the mistake, if the offensive player intentionally causes or runs into the offense or the defensive player, then it's dead and everybody goes back. This is the opposite of that, right? I misspoke. I apologize.
Look at all this, Karen. I don't know what you put on.
So obstruction is
But
on the
I,
defense.
but I,
Whoever's that is, please mute.
That's Paul Hayner. Paul,
can you-
please go on
Paul,
mute.
please mute.
pardon?
Please mute.
Please mute. Yeah, we're a little behind schedule.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you guys have questions about that or you want to circle back, let me know. But obstruction is always on the defense and you don't penalize the offense. Does that
and
make
then
sense to
opposite
everybody?
interference is on offense, and that's
Right.
yeah.
That's a dead ball and you got outs and people go back, right?
Okay, so number 11, bases are loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. The score is tied 3-3. B4 hits a fair ball that clears the home run fence. What's the final score? We shouldn't really care. We should just wave to everybody and say bye, have a great game, appreciate you, and give their balls back. But the final score will be 7-3. So all that's saying is that even though the winning run touched home plate before the home run was completed, whatever, all the runs of a home run count. That's all that is. No big deal. Same as major leagues. It would probably surprise you that if it was the actual opposite. But like I said, we don't really have anything to do with the scorebooks. And in fact, I think there was a situation last year where there was a situation with the scorebooks and the umpires like said something incorrect, and it just stay away from that stuff. Just we don't have authority over the scorebooks, so let them handle it. And if you need to write a report telling somebody what the situation was, that's different. But we shouldn't be making judgments as to that kind of stuff. Okay, number 12, R1 is standing on third base when the pitcher receives the ball in the circle with feet partially outside the line of the circle. R1 takes 2 steps towards home plate and stops. What's the ruling? R1 is, and R1 is out. Why is that, Carl?
It's partially in the circle.
Correct. So if you have anything inside the circle, you're inside the circle. Therefore, that runner is stuck. Now, if they're already off third base, then that's when they get the opportunity to go one way
They
or
have
the
to
other.
commit one way or the other, yeah.
Correct. But if they're on the base and that pitcher has possession of the ball and any foot or both feet are in that circle, they are declared in the circle. That would immediately be dead ball. That runner's out for the look back rule.
So the thing to think about here is that if you're like fuzzy on the rule, partially is you're in the circle. That's all. So it's not like, well, part of you was outside of it, therefore you're outside. No, you're still inside as long as part of you is inside. Okay. All right. R1 is on first base and attempts to steal second base. In the catcher's attempt to throw out R1, the throwing arm contacts the plate umpire. The throw is late and R1 reaches the second base safely. The correct call is it's a delayed dead ball because there was umpire interference. Yes, there is such a thing. And R1 reached second base safely. R1 must return to first base. That's pretty straightforward. Just means that you can't give a runner a base with dirty hands because there would have been a potential for a play there.
Does the pitch count?
The pitch would count.
The reason the pitch counts is because the interference had nothing to do with umpire interference had nothing to do with the pitch.
And that's
So
a great question. So I appreciate
Yeah.
whoever asked it.
Yeah, don't get well, hey, we should go back and that's no pitch, blah blah. No, don't get into any of that.
Right.
Umpire interference happened after the pitch. So the pitch is whatever you call.
Yeah, I'd like to see a situation where umpire interference happens during the pitch. That would be interesting.
Hey, Tony,
Yeah,
this is Wayne. You mentioned that it's a delayed dead ball, but the answer says immediate dead ball.
where is that? Because no, it says this is a delayed dead ball. The answer is C.
It
That's
is?
the- Yeah.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Well, you said return to first base, and that's the only one that matches. Returning to first base is the immediate dead ball one.
Well, no, if the catcher threw out the player at second base, then that player would be out despite because they would choose to have that result.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's
Despite,
2 answers.
despite the interference by the umpire.
There is another one that says return to first base. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. All right. Like I said, we're running a little behind, so we're going to try and speed this up. But yes, please do jump in with questions if you have them. That's more important than anything. All right. With the bases loaded and less than 2 outs, F4 is using ordinary effort to catch a pop-up. The correct call is, and the answer is that you can see is infield fly if fair. Obviously, you can't have an infield fly if it's a foul ball. Is called by the umpire and the ball remains fair. And if the ball remains fair, the batter is out. So less than 2 outs at 40. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Does anybody have any questions about the infield fly rule? I mean, it's been around forever, and the players don't seem to know the rule that well. But as umpires, we definitely should. And basically, all it is that the batter runner is out if it's fair, and everybody else is gonna run at their own peril. So if that ball bounces and it's a fair ball, then those people, if they were running, they can keep those bases that they got to. But conversely, if they catch it, they can get doubled up and tripled up if they ran. It's not a dead ball situation. Okay. All right. Next one, number 15. Once the third out is made by the defense, the teams are given 1 minute between innings to prepare for the new half inning. Once the allowed 1 minute this is another all of the above one. So box within 10 seconds or a strike is called on the bat. The pitcher must release the pitch. The pitcher must release the first pitch of the half inning within 20 seconds or a ball is awarded to the batter. In between pitches, the pitcher has 20 seconds to release the next pitch once the ball has been returned to the pitcher. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you put a stopwatch on these players, the coaches are going to get agitated. So just remind them that you're supported by rule and what those rules are. It's up to you how strict you want to be about it. But, my official association stance would be, try to be as cool as possible and only break out the, only enforce that timing if they're being defiant about it. That would be my suggestion. But like I said, if it's your game, it's your game. And the rule would support you on those timing issues.
What's the answer to number 15?
D, all of the above. So 10 seconds to get your foot in the batter's box, 20 seconds to make the pitch, and 20 seconds to release the next pitch once the ball's been returned to the pitcher. 16, which of the following statements is legal in regard to the use of one-way communication? And that is the batter checks their smartwatch or any other device before the catcher checks their smartwatch or any other device before every pitch. So like we said, the coach from the dugout can text or however they want to communicate to the catcher what the pitch is. But that's a one-way. The catcher doesn't communicate back, and the coach doesn't communicate to other players that are on defense. It's only for the coach in the dugout to the catcher. So the answer is B for 16. 17, there are 2 outs and R1 is on second base. B4 strikes out, but F2 drops the ball. B4 is able to reach first base while F2 chases down the ball. F2 then overthrows third base as R1 is advancing and the ball bounces over the fence in foul territory. What is the correct procedure for advancement of all the runners? The answer is R1 is awarded home and B4 is awarded third base. Carl, you want to quickly take us through that one?
So remember, this is where it gets into differences between baseball and softball. If I remember correctly, in Federation, this is one of the only times that you award 2 bases in softball, right? So pitches happened, plays being made, one of the fielders throws the ball out of play, right? And now you have legally obtained bases at the time the ball goes out of play. That's key. Legally obtained bases at the time the ball goes out of play. So the second half of this is to make sure, as the base umpire or as the plate umpire, you are paying attention to your specific runners, not your partner's runners. That can be very important and very tricky. I have seen 3 years ago, this happened in a state final, if I'm not mistaken, or a semifinal. And I think 4 or 5 years this happened as well. And that's even worse because it's 3-man. So you really have no excuse. You really make sure you're paying attention to the keys, paying attention to your runners, and then watch where, when the ball goes out of play, make sure you adjudicate this the right way.
Thanks, Carl. And 2 quick things. Real quick, if you haven't done so yet, if you could put your name and MHSA ID, don't worry about the MHSA ID if you don't know it offhand, but if you could put it in the chat so we can record that you were at the meeting, that'd be great. I appreciate it. And the other thing is just real quick, as far with an infield fly rule, if it's a bunt, there's no infield fly. Okay. Carl, they didn't change that, did they? I mean,
No. No,
okay.
bunt is
Just
not an infield fly. No.
right. Just wanted to make sure everybody
Now, full swing,
understood that.
full swing or a slap that goes up and it's, let's say it's in between the pitcher and the catcher, that would be an infield fly, provided that it took ordinary effort, in your opinion, to catch the ball by one of those fielders.
Yeah, don't be a hero as to whether it's a bunt or not. I mean, obviously,
Right.
if the ball goes up and you think it's possible it's not a bunt, then call an infield fly.
Yep.
Okay, but if it's a regular bunt, don't call an infield fly. Because you would be tempted to, because you've told your partner, hey, we got an infield fly situation, I'm looking for a pop-up, et cetera, et cetera. Okay,
Hey, if the
All right.
ball I'm sorry, on the infield fly, if the ball is dropped or goes to the ground, is it still a force, or do they have to tag the runner if they choose to advance?
The infield fly only means that the batter runner is out. Everybody else runs at their own peril, according to the baseball rules. So they could get doubled up. So let's say they drop it intentionally because they want to get a double play or whatever. Well, the infield fly was called, so the batter runner's out. So there's no force out left. So whoever runs, and they shouldn't run, but if they do run, then they can be tagged out. Okay.
I just saw a thing on that the other day. It was a major league, it was a major league thing, so it was baseball, but it would be the same for us. Batter hits the ball, it goes straight up and it lands in between the first baseman, the pitcher, and the catcher, kind of in no man's land, but it lands fair. The winning run is on third base, and they let the ball drop and then pick the ball up before it rolls foul. So the batter runner, infield fly is called, the batter runner is out, right? That happened to be out number 2, but the runner that was on third came home and scored. They
Yeah.
thought they thought by just touching home plate that it made that runner out, when in fact it did not. That's not a force out.
Yeah, totally. Good point. Which question are we on, by the way?
Should be on 18 now.
We're on 18
18.
now? Okay. The DP may be substituted for at any time by a legal substitute, because anybody can be substituted by a legal substitute, or unless it's a straight designated hitter, or the flex playing offense. Guys, I would encourage you to look up those DP flex rules. There are cheat sheets and cards. We'd be happy to go over it, but it tends to it's kind of a hard description. So get yourself comfortable with the rules on that. Coaches, they usually know what they're doing with it, but don't get caught off guard in case somebody tries to pull some shenanigans. Okay.
What's the answer to 18?
18 is A and B. Either a legal substitute or the flex playing offense. Obviously, you can't be substituted by someone else in the batting order because they're already in the game. Okay, number 19. R1 is on first base with 1 out. B3 hits a ground ball to F4, and the batted ball hits R1 prior to F4 fielding the ball. What is the correct ruling? And as you can see, it's B. R1 is called out. B3 is entitled to first base without liability to be put out and credited with a fielder's choice. Okay, that's the new rule change. I think just that it's a fielder's choice. B3 it's in the
But
yeah,
if we
it hit the runner, so the runner's out, and so the runner gets first base as always because the runner that got hit by the ball is out. Okay, and they get first base. It used to be they would be credited with a single, but now they're only credited with a fielder's choice, which is an 0 for 1 instead of a 1 for 1. And we don't care because we're not scorekeepers, right? So So just let it be. Nothing has really changed as far as what we do, but it is just a little bit of a different ruling.
But it
Okay.
still remains that if we think that the runner intentionally got hit to avoid the completion of a double play, we can award the double play, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That would be something if a girl was that smart that she did that. But I'm not a girl, I mean, or a boy, just a high school player in general. But you know what I mean? It's like that would be a very heady play by a runner to take himself out. Okay, number 20, the field includes an elevated cement step in front of each dugout. So that's out of play, obviously. B1 hits a fly ball in foul territory, caught by F3 such that F3's right foot is on the ground and live. Stepping on that step as they catch it. It's a foul ball. The ball is dead, and B1 remains at bat, and that's because they were out of play by virtue of their foot being on that step. So the answer to number 20 is B as in boy, foul ball. Anybody have any questions on that?
Tony, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In baseball, this would be an out, so.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's another difference between baseball and softball. That is our baseball rules expert, Mr. Oshansky. With no outs and R1 on first base, this is question 21, B2 hits a ground ball on the first base side of the infield. F4 moves into the baseline to make an initial play on the batted ball. R1, using normal movement, alters the base path going either behind or in front of F4 to avoid contact with F4 fielding the ball. The correct call is, and that is R1's movement is to avoid interfering with a fielder attempting to make a play on a batted ball. So as long as in the umpire's judgment, there is not interference, this is a legal play. And so basically what they're saying is that if the runner goes out of the baseline to avoid interfering with the fielder, that's okay. Okay, so
the reason that's okay, don't let coaches talk you into something. The reason that's okay is the key to the 3 foot, 3 feet on either side of the baseline is if the defender is making a play on the runner, then you would call the runner out of the base path. In this case, nobody has possession of the ball, so there's no play being made on the runner. That should be your explanation back to the coach.
Right, good. So you don't say, so if they say, oh, they ran out of the baseline, it's like, no, coach, there was no play being made on that runner, and that runner was doing it to avoid the thing. So we're good.
Good.
Okay, so 22, as F1 starts to pitch, B1 requests timeout by stepping out of the box. The pitcher legally delivers the ball. What is the correct ruling? And the correct ruling is the umpire shall call a strike on the batter regardless of the location of the pitch. This is pretty clearly laid out in that 7-3-1. But Carl, do you have anything to add to it as far as why you would call it regardless of where the location of the pitch is?
Well, because they're no longer in the batter's box, so you don't know what the strike zone is. So everything is a strike at this point, right? Provided
that's the best way to think.
That's the way to think about it. Now,
Even
just because they signal strike or they signal timeout and they step out on their own,
Give it to 'em.
if you didn't give them timeout, there is no timeout.
Yeah. Good way to think about it, Carl.
if the pitch hits the batter, it's still a strike.
If the pitch hits the
That's a
batter,
good
If the
question.
batter's out of the batting box
yeah.
and it hits them.
According
I
to the
don't
way
care.
that this is,
You said it's
according to
always
the
a
way
strike.
this is
What about
written,
Well,
what about if the
technically,
ball?
if they're out of the batting box,
Oh,
wouldn't
no,
that be a dead ball? Wouldn't
They're
that
in
be
the
a dead
box.
ball?
Oh, that's right.
What?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Carl, would if they step out of the batter's box and the pitcher
Mhm.
accidentally throws a wild pitch and hits them, and they're
Mhm.
not in the batter's box, it's a dead ball, right?
I would say no, because of the way this rule is written.
Okay.
It
Well, no,
says
it's
the
not really.
umpire, the umpire shall call a strike on the batter
Shall.
regardless of the location of the pitch.
All right, there you go.
And make sure they're all the way out of the batter's box.
Correct.
Yeah,
Jeez.
these are things that we'll probably never see, but it's good to know
Good.
the rule just in case.
Good.
I mean,
Oh, good.
we'll definitely see a situation where the batter calls timeout, steps out of the box, and you never said anything. But as far as that batter then getting hit and all that stuff, but yeah, umpires shall call a strike. There you go. Okay, number 23, we're running a little short on time. Which statement about base running is not correct? So number C is the incorrect answer, and that's all runners must remember to retouch the bases in reverse order, even when returning after a foul ball. I forget what the reason. Carl, you want to explain that one?
Well, so the ball's not caught, right? So this means it's a foul ball. If the ball was caught, it'd be an out. So of
So
course
they
you
can
would
just
have
go.
to
They can
return.
just go back to the base, right?
Correct. So it's just a foul ball. It's not live any longer, right? And they can go back however they want to, as long as they go back to the base that they were on when the time of the pitch.
And don't kick dirt on anybody
Right,
or cross the pitching mound or whatever.
Right.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Because I mean, if you made a call that they didn't retouch the bases on a foul ball, the coach would go ballistic, and you would quickly realize that wasn't supposed to be done. Okay, number 24. What is the penalty for a coach who violates the electronic communication rule during a game? Okay, the rule supports you to eject him from the game, okay? Him or her. But if the offense is ruled by you to be of a minor nature, you can just tell them to knock it off and give them a warning. But if it continued again, I'd say even on the first one, probably restrict them to the dugout. But certainly the second one, you'd have to eject them. If it's really bad and they're really abusing the rule, you can eject them the first time. The rule would support you if you deem it to be a major violation. Okay, and I had a situation last year where I could have swore that the catcher was talking back to the coach, and nobody said anything, and I wasn't overly concerned about it. But at the same time, I was trying to figure out, how do I know that his communication device is one way or two way? So just do the best you can with it. Okay, number 25. A team's lineup card must include all of the following except, and the answer is all of the above are required. It's right there written in the rule. Needs the first initial and last name of each player, their jersey number, what position are they playing, and the batting order, obviously, for what they're in. Oh, sorry, I think Jim Marker was in the waiting room. Okay.
What was the answer? Remember 24? 24 answer?
24 was B, ejection from the game unless the offense is ruled to be of a minor nature. So what I was just saying is that, if it's major, the rule supports you ejecting that coach from the game. But if it's really kind of a, hey, I was kind of out of the dugout when I was communicating with the player, or something like that, or I didn't, I didn't know, or this or that, then if it's a small thing, then correct it and give them a warning and move on, or restrict them to the dugout. But certainly the second offense, you would eject them from the game. Okay, so number 26, after a leadoff double. Hold on, I still got somebody in the waiting room. Number 26, after a leadoff double, B2 comes to bat with R1 on second base and no outs. The coach on defense asks the umpire to intentionally walk B2. After B2 is awarded the intentional walk, the coach comes back out of the dugout and asks to appeal R1 missing first base on the previous play. The correct ruling is, And yeah, I wish this was a poll question. But the answer is C. For the purposes of an appeal, an intentional walk is considered the same thing as throwing a pitch, and therefore no appeal on the previous play can be made. So they'd say, wait a second, nobody pitched, and say, coach, basically it's 4 pitches for an intentional walk, and that's what's recorded in my mind, even though no pitches were thrown, because it's ball 4. Okay, pretty straightforward. Just remember, like an intentional walk is as good as a pitch being made, but they don't, like, I don't think girls do pitch counts, but if they did, that would be significant as far as it being thrown or not. Okay, 27. Team A is wearing blue and red uniforms with red exposed undergarments. Which of the following is true about play cards? Did we already have this one? Carl, was this
Yeah,
one?
it was the one
This
from
was the one that, yeah, I'm sorry. Does anybody have the test that has 27 on it? Because this was a repeat, because I took this off of MHSA when it first came out, and I think that they changed the question. So because there were 2 of the same questions. So I apologize for that. I'll make sure that if I'm sending any of you guys the test, that it'll be the updated version. So question 27 is, if I recall, it was a pretty easy one though. So anyways,
Tony, that's the question that's on there right now.
is this a different question than the one we had earlier?
Doesn't
So
really matter.
F1 can wear
That's the question
solid
that's
green.
on right now.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
it's a little different.
The other
Okay,
one
then,
talked
all
about
right, then it is
hands.
different. F1 can wear solid. Go ahead.
Yeah, number 5 was the other one.
Okay, thank you. F1 can wear a solid green play card on the non-pitching arm. So that's the F1 is the pitcher, by the way. F3 is a first base person. They can wear a solid black play card. So what they're saying is that the play cards don't have to be the same, but they have to be a single color and not a bright yellow. Okay. So, and then C, the team's playlist is multicolored and is visible through a window in its solid orange play card sleeve. This is legal, as the only limitation is that the play card sleeve is a solid color and not optic yellow. Okay. So basically, yeah, I mean, yeah, the paper doesn't really matter. It's the sleeve that surrounds it. So all of the above are legal. And I can't stress this enough. Don't look for trouble if none is to be found. But when you're doing your pregame, kind of take a look to see if, like, do you see anything out of the ordinary or anything that could be construed as a rule violation, and then go to your mental notes and say, okay, what's the rule and what do I do if somebody says something, or do I want to address it right now? And if it's easily addressed, go ahead and address it.
What's the answer to 27 then?
27 is all of the above, D. Okay, so team A is recording the game from a camera position behind the backstop, and you see this all the time with those little things that attach to the fence behind you. During the 3rd inning, the coach from team A reviews the video with a third base player. Where is video review permissible? In the dugout. Basically, if it happens in the dugout, we don't really have anything to say about it, unless it's like, taunting the other players or I don't know, doing something vulgar or something like that. But communication devices, that kind of stuff, if it's in the dugout, we don't worry about it. So the answer to 28 is A, in the dugout. 29, B1 bunts the ball in front of home plate. As B1 reached the 3-foot lane and is running to first base, B1 is hit with the throw from F2. Which of the following is used in determining if the runner is out for interference? And we know that this was a rule change either last year or the year before, where the last foot has to be inside of that running lane. If the foot that last hit the ground is outside of that running lane, if they're struck by the thing, then they're out for interference. So the answer is A, if either foot last contacted the ground completely outside of the 3-foot lane, then because the catcher has a right to get that ball to first base, then the runner would be out. Okay? Carl, you have anything to add to that?
There has to be a throw in this case, correct? If the runner was egregiously out of the running lane,
Yeah,
but the catcher did not throw, we do not have interference, correct?
I wouldn't. I mean, if they run to the pitcher's mound, I might do something. But if they're just kind of running and there's no
Right.
throw,
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that. Now, if they say I can't throw because I'd hit her in the back, then you can call that runner out for interference. What I would say is that if it's egregious and you feel like the catcher would have thrown it if that runner wasn't doing what they were doing, then call them out. If it's kind of a no play, don't worry about it.
Well, that sounds like managing the game rather than the rule interpretation.
Well,
Because
the rule is I don't think there is a throwing component to the rule.
Yes,
there isn't baseball. And I'm just
there is
wondering
in
what
softball too. Page 64, Rule 8-2-6.
it's the only time the throw
Okay.
has to be made.
Okay, then I stand corrected.
Okay.
And I appreciate that because I am not a rules expert. I'm just running the meeting. So if either foot last contacted the ground completely outside the throwing lane and there was a throw, then the answer is A. Okay?
So the only hint I would give you here is all of these fields that don't have double bases and the runner is running down the first baseline, the catcher picks up the ball and throws the ball, and the runner right foot is in the running lane and the ball whizzes over her head and the first baseman does not field the ball, this rule does not apply, right? The last foot that touched is inside the running lane. Her left foot is in the air. So please pay attention to the little details of these kinds of things.
Yeah, so it's not that if her foot was outside of the lane at any time, it's that
Correct.
it last struck the ground outside of the running lane. Thanks,
Correct.
Carl. That's a great point. Last question, guys, and I'll let you get a bathroom break before the baseball meeting. And I apologize for the technical difficulties, but this is what you get when Shane's not here. Which of the following is not one of the requirements an MHSA softball umpire must complete to be assigned to the MHSA tournament? Register for the current season. I would say that you probably need to do that. Complete the online rule meeting. You need to do that just to do a game. Score an 80% or higher on this exam. D, work a minimum of 5 years as a registered MHSA umpire. E, be a member in good standing with a local approved association. So you need to be all of them except for D. You could be in your first year as a MHSA umpire and do tournament games. And in fact, if you're in your third or fourth year, I would expect it, or at least if you're doing all the paperwork, you'd have like the right to contact the state and say, hey, how come I'm not advancing in the playoffs? But remember that the districts are assigned by local assigners, so please follow up with them for districts, which I believe are on the 31st of May, if I'm not incorrect. Okay, guys, I really appreciate you, and I'm going to cut the meeting off right here and let you guys. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? I tried to do the chat. I'm not sure if I did it right. Joe Tillman, did you get my chat that I attended the meeting?
Yeah, I got the chat. Yep, says Joe Tillman.
Okay. Thank you.
I think you spelled your name wrong though. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Joe,
Hey,
you're
Tony.
irrelevant.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony, real quick, can I see page 1 and 2? I got in late. I apologize. I didn't get pulled into the meeting in time. It'll only just take a second because I took it already. I just want to compare my answers.
Yeah, no problem. Let me, oh geez, I need to,
All right, man.
yeah, the rest of you, you can go ahead and drop out of the meeting and go to the bathroom, do whatever you want to do before you go to the baseball meeting, if you're going to go to the baseball meeting. Let me reboot up the softball thing, and then I need to reshare my screen, okay? Dave?
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Just, like I said,
Yeah, I
having a
did
little
1 through 17. I got in late too.
Okay, and I apologize if I was remiss in getting you guys. What question numbers, Dave? And
Just hang on. I'm just checking my The, answers. the first 2 pages.
here's somebody just asked for 17. Here's 17. The answer is B. R1 is awarded home, and B4 is awarded third base.
No, 1 through 17.
Oh, all of them. Okay, you want to take a screenshot then? Can you screenshot them?
Just scroll down.
All right. Be ready. I'll scroll slowly. Be ready to write them down. Okay.
Yep.
I also got in late to the meeting. Ken Burton.
Okay, Ken.
Hold on, you going slow? Start it over again. Start it over.
All right. Tell me when I can go to question 5 to.
I just need to see the second page and 14. I'm good.
Okay, so everybody got the first 4 questions?
Yep.
Okay, so here's 5 through 8. Let me know if you can't see anything.
I can't see anything.
You can't see it?
No, it's not. I can't see it at all. All I see is you, all the faces.
Who is this, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe, we just went through the whole test.
Yeah,
I'll
I know.
email it to you, okay?
I was just reviewing. That's okay. I got it.
Okay.
So go back to South Bend, Joe.
Oh, be quiet. I'm down in Florida.
All right.
Stay there. Keep going, Joe.
Everybody but Joe. Are we good through question 8?
Yes.
Okay. And Joe, let me get through this, all right? For God's sakes. So here's 9 through 12. You guys good for 9 through 12?
Yep.
Good.
Okay. 13 through 16.
Yep.
CADB. Tell me when I can continue.
Oh, good. You saved me. Thank you.
Hold on, 15. You say 15 is what?
15 is D as in dog.
Tony, thank you.
Got
And
it.
B.
All right, thanks.
Okay,
Dave.
one more. 17. I need 17. I'm good.
17 is B.
All righty.
Got it.
Who else needs the rest of it?
We're good.
Tony, can you give me number 4? I'm sorry. I thought I had that. That's the only one I missed.
Sure.
You
4
don't
is
have to show
A.
me. Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Perfect.
And does anybody need anything else?
Nope. Thanks.
Anybody? All right, guys. I really appreciate you, and sorry about the technical difficulties. And we'll be talking to you soon. Okay.
Good.
Thanks, Tony.
I'm gonna email
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks a
Tony.
lot.
This is my email.
Hey, Tony, how do I get that credit? I got to get credit for this.
Me
Oh, is
too.
this Darcy?
Yes.
If you could just, can you put your? I'll write it down as soon as I get off the phone, but because I gotta grab the names off the chat. But if you could
Okay.
put your name in the chat, then that'll be there.
I need that too.
Can you
Can
send
you
me
do
this
you
on
guys
my
know how to
email?
open the chat and put your name in there?
Yeah, I think I can. I don't
But
know. I'll send you an email.
Yeah. I'm just gonna send me the test and the email.
Yeah, Darcy, you got my number. You can just go ahead and text me.
That's what I'm gonna do too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure you guys. I'll make sure you get credit.
Great.
but I need to know who I'm talking to. So go ahead and text me that if you didn't put your name in the chat, then just text me that you were at the meeting. Because I got to get to the baseball meeting now. Okay,
Go
guys?
for it.
Hey, have a
Thanks
good
a
one,
lot.
gents. Take care.
Take care. You
Bye.
too.